All right, we on. What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine,
And I am still James.
and we're here to bring you an epic movie review on Man of Steel, 2013's Man of Steel, starring Henry Cavill. And I might say that wrong, but whatever. So, from what I hear, he's going to come back as the man as Superman. But before we do that, we got an intro. All right. All right, we're back. All right, so the Man of Steel, starring Henry Cavill, whatever. So we went back and watched it. Came out 2013. Now I remember seeing this in the movie theater when it first came out, and my first impression, my first thoughts on it. I'm gonna get yours in a second. My first thoughts on this movie when I first saw it. This was good. I like the special effects. I really like the fight scenes and the action, but damn, the destruction was off the charts. It's like I was kind of like, I was like, you know what, man? I was like, since when does it almost felt like the destruction was like the mayhem was just like it was. I was like, where it doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? It's like the mayhem was just a little too much. It kind of took me out some of the movie. So this time I sat down and watched the movie and kind of got a different look at it. You know, I dissected it more, where I was looking into the character study of Clark, or is it Kal-El, whatever. I had kind of got a more of a look of the character and how he plays Superman, and I came out with a more positive thoughts on his view, him playing Superman, because I kind of at first I didn't separate Clark from Superman, and the movie kind of didn't, and that's my problem. I like his Superman portrayal, but I don't like his Clark Kent. And I'm gonna let you, and we're gonna get into all that, and I'm gonna let you touch on revisiting or when you first saw it. What did you first think of this movie? So, what did you first think of this when this first came out? When you first saw it in the movie theater?
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I was mad about a lot of stuff in this movie. Like,
I mean, be honest.
And none of it was like on the cinematography of it. Like, the movie looked great. Mm-hmm. A lot of the fight scenes were about as good as you can expect. Some of them better.
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't have any complaints on that. My only complaints were like on the writing. Some of the story beats didn't make a lot of sense to me. Mm-hmm. And so like there was some stuff I'm just like, why would man, fuck this movie. And so like there was a lot of stuff where I was like, I literally wanted to get up and leave that movie a couple of times, just like I can't watch this movie no more. And like, but like I sat through it, and like I wasn't mad that I saw the movie. I'll say that. Like there was stuff about the movie that pissed me off, but I was not mad that I saw the movie. It was really, really, really well made.
Right. Okay. So when I went back and saw it, I'm sorry. When I first saw it, I had some of those same thoughts. Like I was enjoying myself, but I was like, whoa, this is so much action and not enough development. I kind of got lost in it, and I lost some of what they was trying to do with the character because it just, I got lost in all that mayhem. You know what I'm saying? So
and it's easy. And the way this movie is made, it's really easy to get lost in the mayhem.
So I feel like when I went back and watched it, I kind of got a better thought of how they played it, what they wanted us to feel for these characters. So starting off, man, and we can kind of go chronologically with the movie, but the movie was a little non-linear with them flashbacks. I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
I did not like the flashbacks. I just don't like how they did it. I know what they was trying to do, but it didn't work for me. Starting off them on Krypton. I really like Krypton. I like Russell Crowe as Jor-El, and just the whole look of Krypton. It's another planet. You know what I'm saying? With different technology. They had advanced technology, but it was different. You know,
it doesn't look like they filmed it in New Zealand.
Right. and then the thing about Krypton, they had spaceships, but the dude still was flying on the dragon. It's like you still. It's like if we got fast cars, but it's like somebody pull up on a horse. Like somebody. Come, I'm like, all right, bro, what the fuck?
I mean, you do you, but
right. So I mean, I'm like, okay, well, this is a whole nother. This is a whole nother planet. They got different things, So I like the technology. It's very advanced, and it was cool. Like I said, Russell Crowe, I liked him as Jor-El. Now, Michael Shannon. I like Michael Shannon. I was against this casting as Zod. He kind of made it his own. I respect him for what he did with the character, but it's still not my Zod. Zod I'm used to is Terrence Stamp from the original.
Terrence Stamp as Zod, man, it's a mood. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like, Michael Shannon is a great actor. If you need him for any dramatic set piece, he is there for you. He will do whatever you need him to do. But when Terrence Stamp is playing Zod, when that dude tells you to kneel before Zod, you have to catch yourself.
Man, that was my shit. Kneel before Zod.
Kneel before Zod. Oh, okay.
You know what?
Wait. Why am I kneeling?
You know what? Michael Shannon should have played the big dude.
Ursa.
I don't. Huh?
Ursa.
The big dude. That's his name.
Yeah.
Ursa. Dude had a chick name, huh? No wonder why he was so mad.
Ursa means bear, right?
No. That's and what?
Latin.
Oh, okay. So anyway, he should play Ursa then. He wouldn't have got no lines. He was like, man, fuck that. I'm playing Zod. They could have gave him some lines, but instead they use a big ass CGI dude or thing, whatever, to play Ursa, right? It was just some big ass, huge, like 9 foot tall.
They had a really big dude standing there, and then they used CG to
make him even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just definitely disagree with that choice. We'll kind of get to that a little later.
So, like, unless that dude was actually that big, but I doubt.
No. They had like the Ursa they had to be about at least 7 something. I mean, they could get a 7, but it looked like a special effect. It looked like a special effect. I'm sorry, it didn't look like a real person that was there. So anyway, I mean, the CGI looked good, but when I look at it, it looked like it was a special effect. So okay, on Krypton, I got a couple questions. I don't know if you can answer this. So I'm trying to okay. First time I saw it, I loved the action. I got caught up in the special effects. Now I'm going to really sit down and dissect this story. Okay, so when I watch it, Jor-El they had a little son. I mean, they have Superman, and we had a boy. He said we had a child, a boy child. Like, why do you have to say it's a boy child? like that means anything? Well, okay, we had a boy child, and he was like, and I was like, why did Jor-El? Now I found myself kind of siding with Zod because I said, why the fuck? Why did Jor-El take the codex and put it in his son? Why did he do that? Can you explain that?
I actually kind of can.
Okay.
There is some science that says that DNA may have like an enormous capacity for storing data. And so you don't want the codex to get broken or lost or what have you before Kal-El grows up and gets old enough to like actually figure out how to revitalize the Kryptonian race. You encode this stuff in his DNA. So long as he doesn't die before he becomes an adult and finds his way to this, this Kryptonian technology, The Codex is safe. Like you can't lose it, you can't destroy it. Dude's
So
got superpowers on Earth, so like ain't nobody burning them down or nothing. So
well, okay, I understand that point of view, but I was thinking, okay, you had your boy child, so why do you gonna stop everybody else from having a kid? Because if I'm Zod, I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? No hard feelings. You had your kid. Now go on. Now go about your business. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and stay here and make some more kids and whatever. He kind of took everybody else's ability to reproduce away, right? With the Codex going.
So the thing is, like, the reason he did it was because the planet's gonna be dead soon. All of y'all gonna die because ain't none of y'all gonna evacuate. So you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna send my boy here with the Codex in.
So he did that to save Krypton.
So he did that to save the race. Like everybody on the planet gonna die, but the race will survive.
All right. So Zod just misunderstood, right?
Yeah. Zod just didn't care. Zod wanted to be the dude.
No. Zod's main focus was protecting the Krypton
Zod wanted
race.
to be that dude. Zod wanted to be that dude.
I don't see it that way. I think he wanted to protect. Go ahead.
He wanted the Codex for himself so that he could pick who the next generation of Kryptonians would be descended from.
I guess. I mean, that's kind of like they way, right? Using the Codex to make babies, and they can probably make them the way they like. Everybody was made for a certain purpose, so they'll put whatever in your DNA without giving you the choice. And I understand why he did that. I understand why he decided, okay, we're going to have a kid, and the first kid, and this is going to be the first line of people that get to choose what they want to do. Understand that, but I was thinking like, damn. I just felt like nobody else. I guess they can reproduce though, right? They don't need.
They can.
The Codex.
They just like it's considered taboo to have a natural.
Okay, that's all. That's all I didn't understand. I was like, are they not possible to reproduce without the Codex? That's just the way they do it, right?
Hey, so I looked it up. Big dude there, Mr. CGI. He's apparently his name is Namek.
Okay, well we'll get to that. Yeah, I was thinking though. I was like, well, I mean, the Kryptonian race ain't doomed because Fiora right there, and I'll start right now. It's like, hey, time to pledge your allegiance, girl, because she look kind of fine right now. we gonna go ahead and restart this Kryptonian race. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
for the good of the species.
So anyway, man, moving on. The Kryptonian scenes was real good, man. I really like I really like the way they did just the way it looked. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like how the hell did I do that? Huh. Interesting. Anyway, so that made it small. Anyway, so let me so moving on. Once they send the baby off to Earth, they jump around. Now they didn't do non-linear. They didn't do from when he's a kid all the way up to an adult like they did in the original movie.
Right.
How'd you think about that? Did you like that at all?
I mean, I was happy not to when I first saw the movie, I thought I just wasn't gonna have to watch any of the scenes from his childhood. Just like maybe they'd say something about it, but they wouldn't actually show it, Mm-hmm. And I was actually okay with that. But like the way they did those flashbacks, spacing them out, because they didn't cue them up well. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like here's a moment for a flashback. It was just suddenly a flashback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it didn't feel like a good moment.
I had an issue as well with the flashbacks. Well, the thing was the flashbacks. One, it was too many of them. I think he decided to do that because it was like, who want to sit through a boring origin story? Who want to sit through, because we've seen the origin stories 100 times, and I respect that they try to do something different. I really didn't need it. the flashbacks. I kind of wish they kind of left them out because, and partly the reason that they have to do these flashbacks was they really wet the bed with what's the other movie? Superman Returns. Like if they had already set that groundwork with an origin story in 2006 with that movie, this movie could just pick up where that left off. But they had to start over because that movie was kind of bad. Or I don't know if you liked it, but I didn't.
it was a poor excuse for a soft reboot.
Yeah. So I don't know why this your picture is frozen for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it frozen on your end?
Yeah, like I can see, like in my picture in picture, I can see mine just fine. But when you bring it up, I can see that's frozen on your end. Like even my picture in picture is frozen on yours, and I don't know why.
Well, let me try let me try hitting you back then. Okay. Sorry for the little short intermission. But we're gonna see if we can get James back on Hangouts and bring that back. I don't hear anything. Wait. Yep. Back.
How's it looking now?
Yep. See that beautiful mug.
Where?
So anyway, so we do the flashbacks and they start off with the oil rig. Now I'm gonna see if I can find this, man, because I'm gonna tell you like this. That it's one scene on there that looks so fake to me, and it always bothered me. I don't see it on here. It always bothered me. No, I don't see it. They only got the clip when he first met up with when he got into it with the guy at the bar or whatever. Anyway, so Superman, Clark is working odd jobs, and I guess he's just traveling the world, right? Is he looking for this ship right now?
I don't think he's looking for the ship until he hears about it in the bar.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even know how he got there because next thing I know, he just there. But we're gonna get to that. So he's just like traveling around. It looks like he's traveling around working odd jobs, but he might be researching though. He might be trying to find the ship that he came in. No, he got the ship he came in. What is he looking for? He's looking for a ship, right?
I think like there was like.
I know it's a ship that's there.
Yeah, there's a ship
from
that's
Krypton
there.
Before he was even born.
Yeah, I think like they had left it on the planet at some point. I don't remember about that.
Okay,
but
I don't know if he's actively looking for it.
No, he wasn't looking for it until he heard that they had found. So like when he's in the bar or restaurant or whatever, the one where he messes up dude's truck.
Yeah, which I have that scene, by the way.
he heard those Canadian soldiers talking about something that they found in the ice.
Oh, okay.
And so like
that's how he ended up. Which that's kind of lame excuse. Oh, let me go there. It's like what you just know it's you know it's one of your ships. So I thought that he had when he had the little key that his father gave him that led him to that other ship. I thought that's what it was.
I think he had an idea that the ship was there, but he hadn't decided to go check it out. And so when he found out that the army had found it, he said, well, hell, I better go see what's up then.
Okay, so he's traveling the world, taking odd jobs. He's working just like, as a dishwasher, whatever job he can get. I don't know I don't know if he's trying to find himself. Did you like that approach, though, of him just kind of like traveling around?
I was actually okay with that, like, because you the way they set up his backstory, he gets to a point where he's like, well, look, if I can't just like use these powers for something, then what's the point of me trying to build a real life? Like let me just get some jobs so I can eat and stay clothed and whatnot.
I mean, it seems like he's searching. I feel like he's like doing soul searching. Like he's trying to find out.
Backpacking.
Right. He's trying to find out who he is. Trying to just get some answers. It's like sometimes you don't know what answers you look. Just I want some answers, and I don't know what the question is. So I'm just kind of lost right now. I feel like he just kind of like searching or whatever. So anyway, he found out about this ship, and that's where he meet Lois Lane, because she's a reporter reporting on this. Now you said he heard some what were they? Just some guys.
Canadian military.
Yeah, and he heard about this ship. The movie didn't make that clear though, that that he was following the lead that he got from them, because I didn't get that.
Because like after he busts up dude's truck, you see him hitchhiking, and next thing you know, we're there. So
yeah, and I guess he's looking for where he was, a ship that maybe had something to do where he's from or whatever. And oh no, that's not the one I'm looking for. Oops, sorry. So he's looking for the ship, and he ends up at meeting Lois Lane, and he's on the crew where they're how do you get in that crew? Shouldn't that have been a top? Shouldn't that have been like a top secret thing, or not just a top secret thing, but shouldn't they check who's all involved in there?
Because I don't believe he has ID of any kind. If he does, they never showed that. This dude managed to get a job. Like even if he's just a porter, he got a job at a military installation
where they found a UFO. So there's no way they're just gonna take Joe Blow off the street and be like, you can work here, carry some equipment.
And he's literally calling himself Joe at this point. Hey Joe, get her bags.
Right. So he got himself on the crew to find this, where they found this UFO, and they're checking it out. It's something in the ice. Maybe they don't know it's UFO. Maybe they think it's something else. And I guess some reason he know it's a Kryptonian ship.
Right.
So that's what I was like. How the hell did he get this job? Okay, whatever. I'll bite. This is where he meet Lois. What you think about her Lois, man? I didn't like her Lois.
I don't care for it. I don't care for Amy Adams as Lois. One, her character is too forgettable.
Right.
Like Lois Lane, like in the comics, in some of the other movies, and in the cartoons and everything, always comes off as like she can handle anything herself until the very moment she can't. But Amy Adams is just like literally that chick that thinks she can handle anything, but everyone around her knows she shouldn't be near there.
Yeah, and then not just that. To me, one, physically she don't look like Lois, but we can overlook that. But her personality to me don't fit Lois at all. I'm used to Margot Kidder as Lois, where she's spunky. Lois got to be, real spunky, kind of loud, kind of. So she got to be totally opposite of Clark. You know what I'm saying? That's what made them kind of this little couple, where she's fast talking, she's loud, she's very direct, she's kind of rude. She didn't come across as none of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why she didn't capture Lois to me at all.
Like, because not to get too far out of this movie, but even when you see her again in BVS, like I was hoping like if they gave her another movie, she could come into the character a little bit more. But like even then, like when she's telling off, the Colonel what's his face, the black guy, and like even that doesn't feel like he's actually being told his business. It's like,
I know, she just don't fit that character at all. But she was kind of a popular actress at the time. I think she's cool with Zack Snyder, so she got the role. But honestly, she did not fit it. But
she's not a bad actress.
That's what I'm saying. I like her in other stuff.
Character.
Right, she just didn't fit Lois. Not to mention physically, they can at least get somebody with the black hair. That's kind of like to me. It's kind of an iconic look.
I mean,
Lois
hell,
Lane
use a decent wig. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't.
Yeah, but she probably wouldn't look right with that. Though.
Yeah, you're probably not right.
Yeah,
you ain't wrong.
I'm thinking about like I thought about her with black hair. I'm like, nah, I'm glad they kept it the same color, because I hate when they do that. It's like, no, it's not working. All right, but yeah, he meets Lois. and he found out about his past, and he finally meet his father, Jarrell, and he found out who he is. All right, cool, good job. Moving on, but every time this movie followed this certain formula. He'll deal with a situation in the present, and it'll cut to a flashback of why he's dealing with this situation like this, like what he learned when he was a kid. This is why he's dealing with this situation like that. And his dad played a big role on who he is because his dad was always there to tell him that he was doing something wrong or doing something right, whatever, mostly doing something wrong. And and of course, this is the iconic scene. They played this in the trailer. I don't know what they was trying to do with this, where his dad tells him when he saved the kids, right? He pulled the bus out the water. He saved the kids, and his dad told him. His dad scolded him for showing his power. Now, Jonathan Kent was so wrong and out of line to me. And
they tried so hard to make him the anti-Uncle Ben in this movie.
Man, but that's the thing, though. You scold him for being selfless, and you telling him to be selfish. Yeah. How are you helping him by telling him to be selfish?
And not
let people die. He's literally telling him, let people die. Now, what was you about to say? I'm sorry. I had to get that out.
Like it's so to me, antithetical to everything Jonathan Kent has been portrayed as in the comics, cartoons, other movies, where it's like, look, be careful, but look, you strong, son. That means you can do stuff other people can't.
Right. But this thing, if he was showing off, this is the thing. Jonathan used to get on his head for showing off, in which a kid his age would do. I would do that when I was his age. If I had those powers, I'd be showing off. I'd be winning races and trying to use it to get girls, whatever. That's when you scold your son, But when you save your classmates' lives, how in the hell you gonna tell him he was wrong?
Like, I remember back when Smallville was on, they did this short bit where like Clark was trying to get on the football team.
Yeah,
Dad wouldn't let him
that's
try
when
out.
Right. Go ahead, finish the same thing.
And like they had this whole arc in the episode. Like, look,
you could hurt somebody. Yeah, I remember that.
If you really gonna do this, if you really want to do this, we gotta have some rules because we can't have you hurting folks and we can't have you getting found out. But if you can keep those rules, you cool.
That makes perfect sense. One, he can hurt somebody. Two, he's gonna show that he's got power, which ain't even fair. Like, you get to play sports with superpowers and everybody else got to be normal. That's not fair. And you can hurt somebody by accident.
Like, I remember one of the rules was you got to be a running back because running backs don't hit people; they just get hit.
Is that what he said?
You can't be the quarterback because that just ain't
I bet
fair.
the difference. Some running backs truck people.
Like you can't be a linebacker because come on now, let's be serious.
So right. So right, and that's when he said, "What should I do? Let him die?" Well, maybe. That line just threw everybody like, "What the?"
Yeah.
They actually put that in the trailer. Originally, when the first movie came out, we said, "What am I supposed to do? Let him die?" Maybe. Everybody was like, "What?" It's like, what was y'all trying to do with that? What was Zack Snyder trying to do with that?
I don't know, man.
His Jonathan Kent was bad, dude. Now, I know he didn't write these movies, though. He got another writer. But the thing is, I wouldn't have did that. It's the Jonathan Kent is the worst Jonathan Kent out of all the movies, out of all the Jonathan Kents. And there's no disrespect to Kevin Costner, but this was the worst Jonathan Kent out of all Superman's properties that I've ever seen.
I agree with that.
And not to mention the dumbest death. The dumbest death award goes to this movie also. The way, because Jonathan Kent died in every Superman property.
Yeah. Usually a heart attack.
Right, which makes way better sense because
also the way ever since the comics, the whole point of Jonathan Kent's death is like, dude, I don't care if you can break planets and blow up suns. There's some stuff you can't do.
Exactly, and that is the whole dilemma. That made it real where I can't save him. All the shit I could do, ain't nothing I could do. You know what I'm saying? And that's, that was more powerful. But in this scene, which I'm gonna pull this up, this scene, you could have saved him. You could have saved him easy, and you didn't. Yeah. And not because he didn't want to, because the bum ass Jonathan Kent didn't want him to. No, I swear, dude, this Jonathan Kent sucks. I do not like him. Like, dude, you an asshole. Went back for the dog, you son of a. That dog got out like, shit, I'm cool.
Okay, so it's looking like this was written by David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, well,
that sounds like some Christopher Nolan writing. I'm not gonna lie.
Whatever. They wet the bed on Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You ain't wrong.
So I mean, I got this little scene. Let's see if it'll. See, I'm trying to get a copyright strike. So yeah, we tell him. So he could save them, and then he's supposed to pull her hand up. No, son, don't do it.
It's like, no,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
You what? It's a hurricane. Ain't even nobody looking.
Like, also, are we forgetting the fact that this man is fast enough to save you without anybody?
That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody looking, and they ain't gonna know what they saw. Like, you asked me, hey, did you see that? Man, I didn't see nothing. What you talking about? Look, I'm just glad I'm alive.
Look, all I saw was what was ahead of me. I wasn't looking back at the fucking tornado.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, dude, that's the worst Jonathan Kent, and I'm like, you even died stupid. and you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, the other Jonathan Kent, he could not save at all. You can't stop a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? When you Superman. This Jonathan Kent, he could have saved. That just made it the whole situation worse. That was bad writing. That was my main kind of gripe when watching this movie. The Jonathan Kent just got worse and worse for me every flashback. Every flashback, he got worse. So yeah, that was my main gripe with the writing.
Bo Duke did a better job, man.
What's that?
I said Bo Duke did a better job.
So, okay, so moving on, he's now he know who he is, and now since this ship has been turned on, Zod got a signal. So they do this way of telling introducing Zod. Now, what you think about the way they did this? Just have all TVs just come on and say, you are not alone.
I hate
it seemed
that
like a
gimmick.
hoax.
I hate that gimmick in sci-fi where like the aliens can just, for whatever reason, break into all ongoing broadcasts. Like, first of all, why are they using those same kind of signals? I thought they was advanced. Why would they just have that stuff?
I know. But not just that. What also, if everybody not watching TV? But go ahead.
Like, why wouldn't they just think, this is some hoax? Like,
I know.
I get that they saw the UFO, but like, are you telling me no one thought, somebody saw a UFO, so they hopped they got their camera set up, turned on some Pro Tools, and did some stuff real quick?
That's what it looked like. It didn't look like an alien that you are not alone. I'm like, man, who playing with who? You know what I'm saying? My first thought was, man, okay, somebody hacked some TV station or something. Who playing? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't think, oh my God, we been invaded. You know what I'm saying?
It's
on
like
TV.
Back when Anonymous be putting out videos, like, it's on that same level. It's like, okay, that's some dude in the basement somewhere.
Right. That's what I would thought. I was like, that's kind of lame. I like the original way. I like on the Superman 2 when Zod, they just came down and crashed in the White House. It was it was like kneel before Zod. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's real right there.
Bring me the son of Jor-El.
Yeah.
Like, look, you tell me where to find him, I got you.
No, but the way they asked for it, and this they was like, yeah, one of us is here. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know where he's at, but he's there. He's hiding with you. Bring him to me. I mean, can I get a clue? What you want me to do, man?
if the whole message had been to Kal-El, I would have given that. But like, they wait until the end of the message. Oh, and by the way, Kal-El, if you watching this,
Yeah. If you want to save this planet, turn yourself in. Okay. So yeah, I didn't really like the way they did that. I didn't like the way they introduced Zod to to Earth. Just it was just kind of corny, kind of old school. Maybe they was trying to do homage to some old sci-fi movies or something because it had that old sci-fi shit. It's like,
but still kind of thing.
Yeah. So I didn't care for that, but it was okay. It wasn't too crazy. When he so this kind of confused me. So when Superman goes up on the ship, right? So he turns himself in, and he goes up on the ship. Once he breathes in the atmosphere, right? He becomes human, like because a Kryptonian without on Earth's atmosphere is just the same strength as a human, correct?
A Kryptonian in our solar system, even. It doesn't even have to be on Earth.
No, okay. Well, what I'm saying is
it's got nothing to do with the
a
atmosphere.
Kryptonian on Krypton is about it's same strength as a human, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So once he got up on their ship and started breathing in the atmosphere, he started becoming human. He started to bleed and he started to have weakness, right? Okay.
Because the ship was filtering out all the solar radiation.
Okay. Gotcha. So this is what threw me off. Once Zod and Fiora and all the Kryptonians came down to Earth, they was immediately super strong. Shouldn't they have to breathe in Earth atmosphere or whatever to become strong?
No, they just had to catch some solar radiation. They just had to get hit by some sunlight.
Okay, but then this is the thing. They wasn't surprised how fucking strong they was. They was like, I know I can jump up and knock that ship out the sky.
So they had a small thing, like the first time one of them starts taking their suit off, and they start realizing how strong they are.
I didn't see that.
Hey.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that. They did that because they had masks on.
Yeah, it's a hot second. Like when they start taking their gear off, that's like they had a quick bit of them like Fiora and Zod like look at each other like, you see this?
No.
That's it.
Before they took any gear off, because I was under the impression, because when he fought Zod, he knocked his helmet off, and then Zod was like coughing and shit, and he was actually getting stronger. Didn't know, but see, I thought they didn't get stronger until they figured out. Once we breathe this atmosphere, we're strong.
Like
but they was doing stuff.
The first time one of them does like a super jump, they do look kind of surprised by it. But like it's a hot
no, see, you ain't watched in a while. You might be right. I didn't see that. I saw they got there. They was like, "Hey, we about to just, we about to mess people up. We ain't, I didn't see no. Whoa, we can do this. We can. No, they was just like, "Hey, that ship shooting at us. Okay, let me hop up in the sky and pull off the top of it and then jump back on the ground. How did you know you can do that?"
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Regardless of whether they had a hot second of them realizing the shit or not, it still was done way better in Superman 2.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least where it gets to a point where Superman 2, they start to get used to their powers. And then as they got used to them, they start to know all their limitations and stuff.
Like big dude in Superman 2, like when he realized they can throw cars, he's like, hey!
Right.
Look at this.
But see, they had a scene where, she used the I-beam. She was like, whoa, I got powers here. And he was, Zod was like, we all have powers. Don't get too cocky, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yes, it appears this planet gives us all superior powers.
Yeah, you ain't, not you. Everybody we all got powers, so don't get cocky. Just know your place.
I'm still in charge. Get your ass down.
Yeah, that's Zod. But I just had a little issue with that. What I was hoping that they, I thought they was going to explain that a little better. I knew that, but people that doesn't know, this seemed like they was automatically strong. I'm like, no, they shouldn't have got strong until they took their mask off. That's what I think. Yeah. I figured. I think this is, of course they needed to make them an immediate threat, but they could have gave us a scene where they would have been like, hey, once we get off this ship and breathe in this atmosphere, we're going to be super strong. That would have been cool, but they didn't do that.
I think they could have signified that a lot better, and also like either it shouldn't have been as immediate when he got on their ship that he should have been without powers, or it should have been something that they had clearly like researched before, like and said something about
they
before
could
they
have.
ever.
But the whole problem is they didn't take their mask off until he fought with them and knocked their mask off, and then they started to realize they were strong. But they was already strong before that did that. You know, like okay, y'all was just human strength on Krypton, so all of a sudden you can jump in the sky and pull a plane down and land on your feet. I wouldn't have known that even if I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, also, how do you get used to moving at super speed so fast?
Yeah. Speaking of that, we'll get to the fight, which Superman. Superman says, Zod came after Superman mom, which gives us the iconic scene of Superman. This is cracked me up too. This is the beginning of the mayhem. They was there to cause trouble. Okay, they bad guys. But when you blow up stuff getting at them, you causing more destruction than they are. Because when he tackled Zod, they went through a whole cornfield, and then they went into the IHOP, and it had to be like 10 motherfuckers sitting there, because the whole middle section of IHOP was destroyed, and only the booths, I watched it again, only the booths was still there. The rest of it was gone. So you mean to tell me nobody in the middle, nobody at the bar? They dead.
No. Come on now. No, of course not.
No, they was dead. They was soup. All of them was gone. And I was thinking, like, Superman, you did that. You knocked Zod. Zod was like, hey, I just want you. And you knocked him into a whole nother building where people was at just because you was mad, and you blew up that building. That building blew up too, by the way. One building blew up, and another building, he got knocked to the IHOP, which they kept on talking about this fucking IHOP. I don't know what the deal was with IHOP. I like IHOP too, but damn.
Branding, man.
I mean, shit. IHOP must pay for this whole movie. But anyway.
Those effects don't pay for themselves.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so that's when they found out, Zod was like, couldn't get used to the atmosphere, but that's when they started finding out they had superpowers. And then you see Fiora was fighting him, and she's like, damn. When I saw that scene, I'm like, okay, why ain't that movie about Fiora? Why the fuck she ain't got her own movie? Because she whooping his ass.
Oh, man.
Because if you watch those fight scenes, Superman is basic as fuck. Like, all he could do is fly at him. Like, every time.
Yeah. That's it.
It's like when every time he fly at her, she reverse. She throw his ass.
Yeah.
And she's a good fighter. She's clearly a fighter, and he just maybe because he was so strong that he never could actually fight somebody. Like, dude, you can't fight. When you fight somebody, it's like when Clark got somebody to fight equal, you can't fight, bro.
It's usually like my first critique against Superman, like, forget all the powers, the boy can't fight. You put him up against someone else with super strength, he loses. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, okay, not just somebody with super strength, but somebody that got military training, because, like, you know what I'm saying? She was doing evasive maneuvers and shit on his ass. And she was working.
There's a reason, exactly. There's a reason Batman just needs some armor and some kryptonite gas to whoop his ass, okay? I'm just saying, the boy can't fight.
Yeah, I mean, right. And so I'm looking at this scene right here where they fighting him, and okay, well, this is where they jump in. So there go the IHOP. Now I'm looking. He knocked all these people through this damn IHOP. I mean, he went through this IHOP, and the whole middle section gone. So you mean to tell me I know somebody was in that middle section? And it's the mind of destruction. Okay, so They fighting, dude. She whooping his ass, like she working his ass, and then they double team him. They did a they did a tag team move on his ass. Where she what's the big dude name? The big dude, whatever.
Namek, I think.
Yeah, the big dude threw his ass and she clotheslined him. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, double team on that ass.
Got him with that lariat, son.
Yeah. Running lariat. But so I'm like, okay, this, you know, it's they moving super fast. And it's a good ass effect. I really liked it. But as you can see, you get lost. I get a little lost in the destruction because once he do something, get something on him, he knock him to a building, and it just fucking, the whole building just fucking crumbles. And it's like, what day is this? Is this a Saturday? Because hopefully people ain't in these buildings. If this a weekday, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
If this a weekday downtown, it's a wrap.
It doesn't even look like he's trying to not go through buildings either. Like, it looks like that's his whole plan is, I'm going to put this dude through a couple of buildings and put him down nice and quiet, and we're going to be good.
Dude, I'm going to tell you like this.
Like, there was one point, like, didn't they, like, knock each other through every single support pillar in the building? Like.
Man, look, dog. I'm telling you, look, I got a clip where Superman clearly didn't give a shit about any bystanders. And I got to show this clip because when I was watching this, I was like, hey, Superman, hey, that's a nice move, but hey, Superman, there's people behind you. Oh, he like, oh, shit, for real? Oh, man, damn, my bad. Like, it's like he didn't give two shits about that, dog.
He's like, yeah, y'all got this.
Hey, hold on, let me find this clip, man, because I'm looking like, I was like, dog. All right, here it is. So in this clip, he casually dodges, it's a LessCorp. He casually dodges, didn't look behind him, and this whole building just fucking exploded. The whole building. So Superman did this. He did this little move. So Zod kicked the fuel truck. Superman did this little move to dodge in between.
Casually hopped over it.
A casual hop and turned a little bit. It's like, you see that shit? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then behind, like, Superman, behind you, behind you. Boom! The whole building just gone, dog. And Superman didn't give a shit.
He only has eyes for Zod, man. He only got eyes for Zod.
Well, I mean, I'm just kind of like, okay, I know you fight Zod, but hey, Superman, can you fight him so we can run out the way? Yeah, I got you, dog. You good? You know what I'm saying? And then the truck coming. Hey, Superman, you think you can stop that truck while we get out of here? What? Oh, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Just kaboom! That whole building gone. Well, it had to be people in that building. Unless, like I said, unless this is a Sunday or a Saturday, those buildings were full of people. And Superman didn't give two shits about the people in that building.
Right. That wasn't his problem. That's what he said.
That's the problem. I mean, it was fun, but the fact that he casually didn't give a shit about the people, the collateral damage, is a problem. It's a big problem. Now, okay, somebody had an argument with me, like he was fighting Zod, he had no choice. Okay, say if he didn't have a choice. Well, my problem is, as you can see, look on his face, he didn't care.
Yeah.
At least when Superman 2, when he couldn't stop them from hurting people, he was visibly upset, like, you know, the people, oh my God, the people, you know what I'm saying? And this one, he was just like, shit. You know what I'm saying? You could have stopped that truck, you know, Superman. But no, you said, whoop. You know what I'm saying? You did a nice little nifty move, and everybody just got killed. Everybody just bit the dust behind you. That's my problem. That was my main problem. It just they didn't show no concern on Superman for all this destruction. Not just the destruction, but it had to be casualties, and I didn't see any concern. That was a problem with that's a problem with the character, the way they wrote it. Now I don't know if Zack Snyder was trying to show off, the special effects of, hey, I can blow up a whole fucking city. It's all CGI, and I can show you how to make a disaster movie without losing a lot of money on property damage. I can show you, how to use CGI to do, disasters. That's the way I figure.
It would have been so easy to get the same effect by remapping a couple of mountain ranges. Go the DBZ route, man.
Dude, they could have gave us a throwaway line like, "Ooh, thank goodness it's Sunday," or that building would have been full of people. You know what I'm saying? Anything to let me know that it wasn't 1,000 people in that building that just blew up.
They immediately doubled down in the next movie in the franchise, though, of like, nah, man, he got a lot of people killed, bro. A lot. Do you see this wall that spans this entire park full of the names of people that died during his fight with Zod?
Yeah.
His one-on-one fight with
one-on-one.
Hey, look.
It ain't like he had a whole army and he couldn't stop him. No, you was irresponsible enough not to take this dude, grab him, and pull him the way the fuck out of the city or something.
It's like if you look at this wall in Central Park Metropolis, you can see the thousands of people who died in the war between Superman and Zod. How many soldiers did that? No, I said it was between Superman and Zod.
Could have grabbed Zod, went straight up in the air, and threw him in an uninhabited area, somewhere where a mountain was at or some shit.
Look.
Nope, he just kept on. He actually, what he would do, this is his patented move. I'm gonna fly at him. What you gonna do? I'm gonna fly at him, motherfucker. I'm gonna fly at him. So they flew.
Hey, I'm telling you, nobody can defend when you fly straight at them.
So they did that, and they created a shockwave that blew up 2 more buildings. That was just there. So he's like, "Woo, my building's safe over here. They fighting over there." No, the shockwave made it all the way over to that building too.
Like, if it's me and I make another movie after this, I'm gonna show how empty the place was when they had the fight. Nah. They're gonna show everyone that died in every single collision in that fight in BVS.
So
come on, man.
Okay.
It was so irresponsible.
So I'm gonna tell you what I like though. I mean, the special effects and the action was fun. It was dope. It was too much, but it was dope. The world building machine, that was a real cool effect. I guess they was taking the atmosphere changing the atmosphere to Kryptonian atmosphere, right? Which I was like, wait a minute though, you gonna make yourself weak?
Well, no, because it wasn't the atmosphere. That's the thing. Like, so the idea is
the sun.
So Krypton. The reason Krypton has a red sun is because their sun is close to dying. That's part of the reason that their planet is going to die, because it doesn't have it's destabilizing because it's so close to a dying star. Sol, our sun, is relatively young, so science lesson aside, it's not the atmosphere, it's the sun.
Okay, so whatever. So you saying they still would have been super strong?
Yeah.
So why was Superman losing his power when he was trying to take out the machine?
Bullshit.
Look, dude, you can't explain everything.
I'm telling you. No,
the science that they set up the fact that the atmosphere makes him weaker. Because when he was trying to destroy the world building machine, he was losing power and he had to, do it to his last breath.
All the solar radiation. Look, I'm telling you, because Jor-El says it at the beginning of the movie.
Dude,
their planet orbits a young star. His cells will drink up its energy. It will give him powers unlike any other.
Right. We know he gets his power from the sun. But what they set up, I know what you're saying, but what they set up, whatever the atmosphere was, it made Superman weaker.
I don't think it's the atmosphere. I think it's an energy shield. Okay. I think the machine. I think the machine is just negating his powers because
you know what? You would have been one of them scientists that got fucking blown up because you think you know every damn thing. You'd been one of them scientists on Krypton, be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Krypton ain't blowing up.
I would have already snuck myself into one of those outposts that they had abandoned, and I've been studying the stuff from right there. I don't put myself right deep into stuff. That ain't my style.
So, you know, you would have been listening. You'd have been like, man, this dude don't know what he's talking about. Krypton cool.
Nah.
You'd have been like, ready my escape pod. No, Krypton cool, y'all.
Hey, look. I know he said Krypton ain't cool, but the big boss said Krypton is cool. Ready my escape pod.
But no. Anyway, the way the Superman was getting weaker when he was trying to destroy the machine or whatever. That is part of the problem with some of these movies where, and I'm kind of glad for the Snyder cut is going to be 6 episodes because it goes on too long. So he's going to destroy this Earth building machine and then turn around and have a fight with Zod. That pushed that ending too long for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need 2 endings. That's part of the problem what they do with these. But that's kind of like, it's a gift and a curse. Zack Snyder got so much he want to do, but he got to do it all in one movie. You know, honestly, he could have had his fight with Zod, and that should have been that. But they had him destroy the Earth building machine, as well as fight with Zod. You know what I'm saying? It was like, God damn. After we just got through watching this whole scene of him destroying the Earth building machine for like 15 minutes, now Zod come, oh, you son of a bitch. Now I'm going to fight you one-on-one, mano-y-mano, you know what I'm saying?
Like, why couldn't that scene have been him fighting, like, around it? Like, if you want to throw him through a structure, throw him through the world building.
Yeah, I know. Use your destructive powers on that, motherfucker, not on buildings. But, right, that was kind of also the issue I was feeling. I was feeling the time when I saw this movie. It started feeling like it was getting a little too long, where I was enjoying the action, but I'm like, okay, we still ain't seen the end fight scene, and I'm already kind of, ready to wrap this up, and that's why I was like, these would be better as those episode miniseries. These will be so much better as miniseries because they got so much to tell. But if you tell it all in one setting, you kind of get burnt out,
Yeah. I think if it weren't for the point that they are trying to make as much money off of these as possible,
right.
Like I would say, don't even try to make movies. Just put Zack Snyder on a bunch of miniseries.
But that's right. I wish they keep it going with miniseries instead of movies.
Like instead of putting all your money into Greg Berlanti making all these CW shows, have Zack Snyder make a bunch of miniseries.
They ain't got enough money for that because Zack like, hey, I'm going big. I said, what? That ain't. What kind of budget is that? That's only pay for the coffee. I'm blowing shit up.
Like, I'm sorry. Did you say 40 million? Did I tell you I needed new tires?
Well, okay, I am blowing up the city. You know that, right?
Like, look, I'm gonna buy a small town in Delaware. We gonna blow it up. That's what we gonna do.
Kaboom! So anyway, no. So that was my deal. The ending dragged a little bit because of having basically 2 climaxes. That was a problem with me. So then a character issue was Zod killed like 30. I don't know how many people. Caused the death of so many people. You probably caused the death of a lot of people being so nonchalant. You got to take some responsibility too. And you finally killed a person that's doing this, and you broken up about that.
Like if we count the lives Zod and his people took to the lives you decided not to save, you ain't looking too good, Soups. I'm sorry, man.
So I mean, I would be like, okay, kill that motherfucker. No, I can't do it. What? You can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, and he was so broken up about having to do it too. Like, bro, you just let how many people get blown up?
I know.
You could casually hop over a tanker?
Dude, snap his neck quick. If you would have done that, you probably could have saved a lot. If you would have done that at the beginning of the fight, which you probably, would have got your ass whooped. You know what I mean? The point is, if you would have done that sooner, maybe whatever 1,000 people wouldn't be dead. So anyway, and then look after he come back, save Lois for the last time. You know, he always somehow save her.
It's like, Superman, you let all those people look. I saved Lois, okay? I got the girl.
I saved Lois. So Lois, you know, what's up? Now looks like a good time to make out. You know what I'm saying? You got people who's like, I'm still alive. Help me. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? You know, he over there making out
over here.
while people over there dying. People got to be in this rubble dying. And he's like, hey, come here, girl. Give me a kiss. You know what I'm saying? I say today. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was some issues there with that. But I mean, the action was just, you know, it was nonstop. But the CGI, the special effects, it was on point. I ain't seen too much better than that. The destruction looked real. It looked good. It's just what was it for? You know what I'm saying?
So I gotta ask.
What's that?
The effects aside, is there anything about this movie that you liked more than Superman 2? I mean, come on. If you watch Superman 2, if you see this kick that Superman did when he was clearly on a string, and like he walked up to Zod and he kicked him on the chin he kicked him with like a nice kick. Like, hold on, I'm gonna kick you very slowly, and then Zod went flying back. It was so fucking funny. I might have to find it. You know what kick I'm talking about? He flew at Zod and he stopped and he turned around and he kicked him like soft. You can see that they got him on a harness and you can tell that they got his leg on another wire to keep it steady while he gets in.
It kind of looked like he just kind of like turned and he kicked. Like they could at least changed, like had him kick hard and then like change the camera view so you won't notice that he didn't really make contact. He made contact with him, but he did it ever so slightly. He kicked him in the chin, like politely kicked him in the chin.
The sound effect for that kick was.
It was like, and I'm like, stuff like that was like, okay, it's like, okay, but you're right though. If we take this action and you put it in Superman 2, it's a superior movie. I mean, come on, but. I'm not really grading it on that. So what I think about Henry Cavill performance, and I'll talk about this early. His Superman, I really like his Superman because now that I really watch it, if you separate Superman from Clark, which they kind of don't, but if you separate Superman from Clark, he got this presence. He got this presence when because you got to think we privy to his secret identity. So we watching the movie. We just see this is the same guy that was on an oil rig, the same guy that's been learning from Jonathan Dumbass. But when he talked to people as Superman, when he got the uniform, the costume on, he got this little presence. The way he talked and the way he talked, you know, I feel like, damn, this dude, you know, he's Superman. You know, I feel him.
Yeah.
But he's a shitty Clark Kent. That is the problem.
So this is the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I would say I started thinking about it. His Clark Kent and Superman is not too different, and the problem is now you can say in this movie he didn't decide to be that goofy Clark Kent because that's kind of an act, right? Yeah. So, but if you look in BVS, he didn't change his demeanor at all, you know, as Clark Kent. Like you can't tell somebody that you're not Superman when you act completely exactly the same. Where in the original movie, Clark was OG golly Lois. You know, Clark was a fucking dumb, goofy bastard where you wouldn't even think he was Superman, you know? Yeah. So that was the problem, man. His Clark Kent sucks.
I think what happened was, like, he did his Clark Kent for this movie, and they were trying to
one G golly.
True. But, like, I think, like, what they were trying to do was they were trying to show that Superman is just him, unfiltered, just being the best he can be, right? And what they forgot to do was showcased that Clark Kent is supposed to be him trying to downplay his presence.
Uh-huh.
Like he's trying like that. Like when you watch Christopher Reeves do Superman, you can see how he drops his shoulders and he keeps his head down, and like even outside the G gollies and all the corny shit.
Now you
Like
talking about Clark Kent, right?
yeah, Christopher
Right.
Reeves is Clark Kent. Like he makes himself as small as he can. He
Right.
doesn't look people in the eye, all that stuff.
Right.
And so like
He
they
says
they
G
have
golly.
yeah. Like I'm gonna tell you what, even Tyler Hoechlin, as much as I hate talking about his Superman, when he's not being Superman, he is being the hell out of Clark Kent. Okay, like he's clumsy. He bumps into people. He apologizes too much. Like he
Yeah.
is Clark Kent.
Right.
To a
And that's the difference. You have to
you know,
learn how to put that in the character.
Henry Cavill's Clark Kent does not make himself small for anybody.
His Clark Kent, he doesn't have too much emotion.
He's
now,
not mild mannered.
right, well, I'm going to say, okay, maybe he's trying to figure himself out. Maybe he's trying to, he's going to get into that character as Clark Kent. But that's the problem in BVS. Clark Kent, yeah, they didn't bring that character out at all. He still played the same way, stoic as fuck.
Because Clark Kent is not the kind of person that's going to tell Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne they business at Lex Luthor's party.
Man, don't see. We're gonna talk about BVS next week. We're gonna talk about BVS next week. And I was
like, this to me, this ties into something that's really wrong with the way he plays Clark Kent and the way Amy Adams plays Lois Lane, because they're supposed, yeah, because that's supposed to be her role. Is she's the one that comes in and tells people what their business is, while Clark's like, Lois, I don't know. If
that's kind of like the dynamic. That's why it worked that she didn't know his secret identity. That's a big change where she knows his secret identity right away.
Right.
That changes things.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, that's part of the reason why I feel like something wrong with Lois, because she already know who he is.
Yep.
So he don't have to put on the G Golly act, but that was kind of that's kind of made it more interesting.
I gotta go handle something real quick.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to the people. That kind of made it more interesting by him doing the Clark doing the G Golly, but now Lois knows his secret identity right away, so that changes everything. Now he's and he's kind of boring, actually. He's not really a fun guy. He's always brooding, so that never changed. So wrapping this movie up, wrapping up the whole thing, Superman saves the day. Metropolis is in ruin. And Superman has to. He assumes his identity as Clark.
Sorry about that. Barricade fell down.
No problemo. I was talking about the very end, wrapping up the movie.
Right.
He assumed his identity as Clark. He comes into the Daily Bugle, and is it Daily Bugle or Daily Planet? Daily Planet, right?
Daily Planet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Daily Bugle is that Spider-Man. Anyway, he comes into the Daily Planet and say, "Hey, I'm Clark Kent." Looking like Superman. It's like, dude, no, you're not Clark. I mean, you're Clark Kent, but you didn't get it. Somebody didn't get the memo because you totally did not change your demeanor at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now I know that we complain that this is a different Superman, and it's also, that's fine. But I feel like if you're going to change Superman, at least keep Clark the same as Clark Kent. The goofy, mild mannered Clark Kent.
At the very least, use a different demeanor.
Yeah.
Like they're clearly the same person. They clearly act exactly the same. They talk exactly, because at least with we don't have to go into how poor of a disguise a pair of glasses are, but like at least with Clark Kent and Superman and every other depiction we've gotten, Superman squares his shoulders. He talks to you straight up and down. He got some bass in his voice. He ain't taking no for an answer. And Clark Kent is, I'm so I didn't mean to get in your way. I'm sorry.
Right.
You know, it's
That
kind of
is
that like Jerry Lewis playing the Nutty Professor kind of thing. It's like I don't care how much these characters may have in common, they're clearly not the same guy.
right, right. And like you said, that is the way he keeps people from even suspecting he could be a superhero. You know.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a rating. Wrapping up. So, going back and watching this, it was a lot of good things. Technically, and there's another thing I really like too, the score. I forgot that music. Well, I didn't remember that music that they used in BVS was his music. I didn't know that. Like that's the Superman theme or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's what that thing. Because I forgot that thing was being used. I kind of like that. I really like. I like Junkie XL. They kind of do some, a lot of bombastic music that it's kind of get my emotions going. Because the Batman music was kind of cool. We'll talk about that next week. But so I like the score. I think Henry Cavill he did a good job. I think he need more. I think he need to. Well, I think they just need to get some good writing, better writing for him to bring out Clark. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, or bring out who he is. Because I feel like his interpretation of Superman is good. Because when you Superman, you putting on a role. It's like you talking in front of the class or whatever. You got to talk a certain way, so people listen. You got to project yourself a certain way. That's the way he talk when he's Superman. I feel that. I get that. But when he's not Superman, he still seems he's boring. He's brooding. He's like, you have nothing as Clark. You know what I'm saying? And, I like your presence as Superman, but when you not Superman, you're boring as shit, man. It's like I feel nothing. I feel nothing.
I'm not sure how to take that.
And also, narratively, things they made some mistakes. The flashbacks I didn't like. I ain't gonna say I didn't like. It was too many. It was too many flashbacks, and I understand why they needed it because they was trying to show some of his childhood, why he was the way he is. I think it was a little too many, and it made Jonathan Kent look like a piece of shit. I just couldn't stand him all through this movie. You trying to tell your son to be selfish. You told him not to save people, and that ain't the point of matter of fact, Clark was a good kid. He didn't show off. He was minding his own business, and for some reason, everybody wanted to pick on him. Like seriously, and he held back every time. Like the bullies was trying to fight him, he didn't fight them. He didn't use his power only when their life was in danger. And, he did what he's supposed to do. And Jonathan Kent, punk ass, was just steady scolding him for doing the right thing and then told him it was okay to let kids die. I'm like, dude, you a bastard. I hate this character the more I watch this movie. So anyway, narratively, the writing was not as great. If you was trying to build a character and give him all this, do the right thing stuff, it didn't work by having a role model telling him to be selfish all the time and or whatever. Because that didn't work. It's the point. The point, they kind of lost the point to me, where the point is he had to be selfish, and his dad got to tell him why you shouldn't be selfish. That's how that works. And when you have consequences, that's when you learn, okay, being selfish got consequences. Now I know I'm not going to do that again. That's your lesson, But no, he actually did the right thing first, and his dad told him to do the wrong thing. Like, how are you helping this kid? You know what I'm saying? So narratively, I really think they kind of wet the bed on building his character. And the other supporting characters, they didn't fit. A lot of the people like Zod, Lois, a lot of them did not fit who they originally was. Now, I'm not gonna say since this one person played, you got to get somebody to play just like this guy, but I need something that reminds me of this guy. Like
it has to be recognizable,
right? But not just that.
You have to see the person playing Zod and say, "I know that's supposed to be Zod." Like,
their
portrayal has
Michael
to be
Shannon and Turn Stamp. I mean, you can't get further from that. And Amy Adams as Lois she didn't do it for me. So I had some problems, but technically, on the standpoint of how they put it together is awesome. I really love how they, how they put together the scenes and the score and the special effects and what they tried to do, but they failed narratively. Whoever wrote it and the casting, Zack Snyder need to work with somebody on casting the characters because Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Lex Luthor Jr.
Okay, all right. So I gave him a pass because they made it clear that he was junior. But still, he got a lot of flack for that. If he would have just cast Billy Zane, it wouldn't be no issues. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Billy Zane is already Lex Luthor. So anyway, so it's casting issues, the actors didn't fit those characters, but I'm willing to overlook that if they can give me the energy of those characters. They didn't do it. So narratively and casting wise, I really didn't like a lot of stuff there. But I really did like I said, technically the special effects, the fight scenes and everything was good there. So it's like I kind of got on this because I wanted to give it a dope just because I love all the special effects, but I can't because narratively it didn't work for me. If Zack Snyder didn't do this, like I think he actually kind of made it better by being such a good filmmaker on his visuals. Because if somebody else wrote this, right, and somebody wrote this movie and somebody else did it that didn't know how to make the visuals like this, it wouldn't have been as good, I don't think. And narratively, it was just a dud, dude. I did not like a lot of things there. I really like I said, I enjoyed it though because I enjoyed the spectacle, but a lot of the stuff that makes Superman was not there. So I got to just give it an all right, man. I wanted to give it a dope. I really did because I enjoyed everything about that, but I didn't like rewatching it. I didn't like what I saw narratively. So for that reason, I give it a dope. What'd you give it? Sorry, I took too long on that.
It's this movie. I'm not gonna say this movie isn't watchable. It's really watchable. It's really
it's a fun movie.
Like as far as the craft of filmmaking, this movie is really quite on point.
Yeah,
but there's so many issues with characterization in this movie.
Yeah,
when you adapt an existing property, and people can't like look at it and say, "Oh, that's supposed to be such and such. That's supposed to be such and such. Oh, if they doing that, that's got to be such and such." Like if Superman wasn't wearing the outfit, you might not necessarily know that he's supposed to be Superman, but like that ain't a problem. That ain't too much of a problem here. He's pretty upright and whatnot, so whatever. But like, there's nothing immediately recognizable about Lois Lane's character. She's just a reporter.
Yeah.
And
she don't fit Lois at all to me.
Yeah. Like if I didn't know she was supposed to be Lois Lane, I'd have thought she was Cat Grant.
They could have made her Lana or something. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
She could have been any female character that wasn't his mama, But Michael Shannon is Zod. Like I like Michael Shannon. He's a decent enough foil for Henry Cavill's Superman, but he doesn't feel like Zod.
No.
I'll tell you another thing, and this is one of the things I find most disappointing. He doesn't feel like a general in this movie. He feel like the muscle, the Raven lunatic, whatever. If you need an AWOL, soldier, he's got that down.
Yeah, and that's cool, but that's not Zod.
It's not Zod. He doesn't feel like a tactician. He doesn't feel like someone who leads people. He's just an angry lunatic that's gonna burn the world down looking for this one dude.
Yeah.
And that's not the character to me. The character he plays well, but it's not the character. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the writing just wasn't there in this movie. As great as the action was, the
Right.
way they get to the action just feels forced in most places. Superman getting to where they found the ship, it's just a thing that happened. It's
I
just
know.
a thing that happened.
I
You
know.
know, we don't know how he got there. We don't know how he's, allowed on the site in the first place. He's just there.
I know.
Yeah.
Mind you, he has no credential. He just end up working there. It's like
He just a
maybe
guy.
that could have been a nice little subplot. How the fuck did you get there?
Dude, you've been bouncing around from place to place, stealing clothes and stuff.
Yeah,
You
stealing
know,
people clothes off their
how
line.
how are you getting all these jobs? How are you
And
getting this job?
how you find clothes that fit you with your big ass? Because
Yeah.
he was
Look,
he was so swole picking up clothes off the line. I'm like, dog, ain't that on that line gonna fit you? I'm gonna tell you that right now.
dude got shoulders like a barn door, and he just happened to find a shirt. Like the dude who bought the clothes and walked in the house clearly ain't that size. How do these clothes fit you? But
Right.
like narratively, too much of this movie just does not make sense, and they don't take any steps to make it make sense. People just do stuff and they end up places.
Yeah.
And on that, I can't even give this a dope. Like, there's too much of this movie that's half-assed to me.
Yeah.
I have to give it an all right.
Yeah. And I know that I praise Zack Snyder for a lot of his movies. He's actually one of my favorite directors. And people, it was all popular to bash Zack Snyder. And I know that the Snyder Cut's coming out. For some reason, people did a 180, and everybody owns Zack Snyder now. Ooh, the Snyder Cut, the Snyder Cut. I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't y'all just talking about Snyder ain't this? And I hope he get out of Hollywood and he'll fuck up any property he get on. Now everybody's excited for the Snyder Cut. Ooh, wow. Y'all just did a 180. But this guy here was saying that Zack Snyder, I wanted to see the Snyder Cut from day one, and Zack Snyder's one of my favorite directors. I always said that, so I never changed nothing. 300 and Watchmen was two of my favorite movies, but the thing is, when I went back and watched this, I wanted to see what's good and what's bad. I'm sorry it was more bad than good, and that just kind of show you that I'm not just a Zack Snyder fanboy. I'm not a Zack Snyder fanboy. When he do something wrong, I'm gonna point it out. And it was a lot wrong in this movie, but it was a lot right. And most of the wrong things was narratively. And I think that's a part of the writing too. I think they need to sit their ass down and write them a good script with his filmmaking skills. With a good script, I mean, the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he gets all the blame when something not right. But if you look, it is clearly writers on these movies, and they don't say Zack Snyder is the writer. You know what I'm saying? They say Zack Snyder is the director, and producer or whatever. But we have writers that wrote this script. Not saying that Zack Snyder don't have anything to do with the way it's put together, but I'm just saying most of the problems come with narratively, with his movies. That can be fixed. That can be, you know what I'm saying? That shit could be fixed when you got somebody who got an eye for filmmaking like he does. So that's all. I just wanted to just throw that out. People thinking, I was jumping on the bandwagon because people been talking this shit about the Snyder Cut. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon because I've been adamant about getting this Snyder Cut. And like I said before, I'm glad they're gonna break it up into parts because a lot of his movies probably work better like that because they be so long because he just have so much to tell.
Yeah, I would even hope that like going back to Justice League for the Snyder Cut, I would even hope like he's hitting up some of the people he worked with on this. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Jay Oliva. He did the storyboard art for this. So like a lot of the action set pieces were sketched out by Jay Oliva, and a lot of the action set pieces like they took a distinct influence from Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. For how you make these action set pieces between people with this kind of, almost unfathomable power and whatnot. So
Yeah.
like this is one of the things that really worked for this movie is this looks like how Superman fights would go down in real life.
Yeah, exactly. And we did a lot of complaining about the destruction, but I mean, honestly, it will be a lot of destruction with these superpower people fighting in a city.
Yeah.
It's just my problem was Superman didn't look like he didn't give a shit. He literally did not try to stop the destruction. He just like, hey, shit, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the Man of Steel. It's a fun movie to watch on the big screen because of the visuals and the special effects, but narratively it did not work as a Superman movie. And I don't want to be one of them guys to repeat other people, but that's what people say. And now that I'm watching it's true. It does narratively, it does not work. If you trying to build a character like Superman, making him righteous and all that, you can't have a dad telling you to, let kids die and shit. You know what I'm saying? That stuff just don't work for me.
Yep.
But it was, like I said, technical standpoint though, it was a good ass, well-made movie though. So that's my last thought. You got any last thoughts on that?
Even though I only gave it a ride, I am not saying this is not a movie worth watching. It's a fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't buy in too much and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So next week, we're going to talk about the movie of all movies now. Next week, we're going to watch the sequel to this, Batman vs. Superman. So apparently Batman was thinking the same way we was thinking, like, this son bitch just turn around and nonchalantly dodge the truck and let all these people die. I'm going to get that motherfucker. BVS next week. Next week we're gonna review BVS Ultimate Edition, not the theater, not that shit. We're gonna do the Ultimate Edition, almost 3 hours.
Right.
Get your popcorn.
Settle in, kids.
So we got an almost 3 hour cut of BVS, and we're gonna review that. So yep. See y'all next week. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Anybody checking us out? And please subscribe to the channel. Anything you want to say?
Don't forget to thumbs up every video you watch, and please feel free to comment. We do want to hear from our viewers. We want to know what we're doing right, what you want us to change up, any movies you want us to review that we may not have thought of, some deep cuts, whatever. We down for it, so let us know.
And we also going to be reviewing bad movies. I decided to add that. I will text you and let you know which bad movie we're going to do next week. It's probably going to be some shitty stuff, but shitty in a good way. Movies that you can watch and laugh how bad it is. All right, so we out of here. Thanks for checking out the podcast.
Peace.